Life is a journey, isn't it? There are moments of joy and triumph when everything feels right. But there are also seasons of uncertainty, heartbreak, and fear. Psalm 23 is a timeless reminder that, no matter what we face, we are never alone. Each verse is a promise, a reassurance that God, our shepherd, is with us every step of the way. Let's walk through this beautiful psalm together and explore its deep truths, drawing strength and encouragement from its words. Verse 1. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Imagine the care of a shepherd watching over his sheep, guiding them, protecting them, and ensuring they have everything they need. That's the image David paints here. God is not distant or uninvolved. He is personal, attentive, and deeply invested in our well-being. There have been times in my life when I felt a void, moments when I thought I needed more success, more resources, or more recognition to feel whole. But when I leaned into this verse, I realized that with God as my shepherd, I lacked nothing truly essential. He fills every gap and satisfies every need. This verse is a call to trust in His provision. No matter what you're facing, He sees you. He knows your needs, and He will provide. Not always what we want, but always what we need for His purpose in our lives. Lord, I thank You for being my shepherd. You care for me as a shepherd tends his sheep, lovingly, patiently, and with constant vigilance. You know my needs before I even ask, and You provide in abundance. I confess that there have been times when I've looked to people or circumstances to satisfy my heart. But today, I declare that You alone are my source. With You as my shepherd, I lack nothing. Fill my heart with contentment, and teach me to trust that You will always provide for me. Verse 2. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. Rest. It's something we all long for, but rarely give ourselves. This verse reminds us that God not only invites us to rest, He leads us to it. Green pastures and still waters represent peace, restoration, and abundance. I remember a season when I was burning the candle at both ends, trying to juggle work, family, and personal goals. I felt drained, like I had nothing left to give. But God, in His mercy, slowed me down. He reminded me that true rest isn't found in more sleep or a vacation. It's found in Him. Sometimes, we resist rest because we're too focused on achieving or fixing things ourselves. But God's rest is different. It's a deep, soul-refreshing peace that comes when we surrender to His care. Trust Him to lead you to those green pastures, even if it means stepping away from the chaos for a moment. Lord, I thank You for the peace You bring into my life. When I am restless and weary, You gently lead me to green pastures, a place of rest and nourishment. I remember moments when my soul was troubled, and You brought me calm in the midst of chaos. You guide me to still waters, where I can drink deeply of Your peace and refresh my spirit. Teach me to pause and listen to Your voice when life feels overwhelming. Thank You for being my rest and my refreshment. Verse 3. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Restoration is a powerful word. It speaks of renewal, healing, and making things whole again. Have you ever felt broken, like your spirit was crushed under the weight of life's pressures? I have. But this verse reminds us that God specializes in restoration. There was a time when I felt unworthy of God's love, burdened by mistakes and failures. But He didn't leave me in that state. Instead, He gently picked me up, dusted me off, and set me back on the path He had for me. God doesn't just restore us for our sake. He does it for His glory. When we walk in His righteousness, we reflect His goodness to the world. Even if you've strayed, He's ready to guide you back and lead you into a life that honors Him. Father, You are the restorer of my soul. When I feel broken, discouraged, or lost, You step in and heal me. There have been seasons when I felt far from You, but Your grace always brought me back. You lead me on paths of righteousness, not for my glory, but for Yours. Help me to walk in obedience to Your will and to reflect Your goodness in all I do. Restore my strength and guide my steps, so my life honors Your holy name. Verse 4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for You are with me. Your rod and Your staff, they comfort me. Valleys are unavoidable in life. They are the dark, challenging seasons when hope seems distant and fear feels overwhelming. But this verse is a promise. Even in the valley, God is with us. I recall a time when I faced a significant loss. The grief felt suffocating, and fear of the future consumed me. But in those moments, I experienced God's presence in a way I never had before. His rod and staff, symbols of His protection and guidance, were my comfort. The valley is not the destination. It's part of the journey. And we don't walk it alone. Whatever darkness you're facing, know that God is walking beside you, guiding you with His steady hand. Lord, I thank You that even in the darkest moments, I am not alone. I recall times when fear and uncertainty tried to consume me, but Your presence was my anchor. The valleys may be deep, and the shadows may seem overwhelming, but Your rod corrects me, and Your staff guides me. You are my protector and defender. I declare that fear has no place in my life, because You are with me. Surround me with Your comfort, and remind me that no valley is too deep for Your light to reach. Verse 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. This verse is a picture of abundance and victory. Even in the presence of adversity, God provides for us. He doesn't just meet our needs. He blesses us so abundantly that our cup overflows. I've seen this in my own life during times when challenges seemed insurmountable. Despite the difficulties, God's blessings were undeniable. Whether it was unexpected opportunities, moments of joy, or the strength to keep going. God's anointing on your life is a reminder that you are chosen, valued, and set apart for His purposes. Even when the world feels against you, His favor surrounds you. Look for the blessings, even in hard times, because they are there. Father, how amazing it is that You bless me openly, even in the face of opposition. You prepare a table, a feast of Your goodness, before my enemies, showing that I belong to You. You anoint my head with oil, signifying Your favor and Your calling on my life. Lord, I thank You for the times when I felt unworthy, yet You overflowed my cup with blessings. Let my life reflect the abundance of Your grace, and let others see Your goodness through me. Verse 6. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. What a comforting conclusion to this psalm. God's goodness and mercy don't just accompany us. They actively pursue us every day of our lives. And the best part? This journey doesn't end here. It leads to an eternal home with Him. When I look back on my life, I can see the evidence of His goodness and mercy, even in seasons when I didn't recognize it at the time. Those moments of grace, those second chances, those unexpected blessings, they're all signs of His love. No matter what lies ahead, we have the assurance that His goodness and mercy will never leave us. And one day, we will dwell in His presence forever. That is the ultimate hope, the ultimate promise. Lord, Your goodness and mercy are unrelenting. They don't just meet me where I am. They actively pursue me every single day. When I look back on my life, I see Your hand of faithfulness guiding and protecting me. Thank You for the promise of eternity in Your presence. I long to dwell in Your house, to worship You without end, and to experience the fullness of joy that comes from being with You. Until that day, help me to live in the assurance of Your everlasting love. Psalm 23 is more than a collection of comforting words. It's a blueprint for trusting God in every season of life. Whether you're resting in green pastures or walking through the valley, He is with you. He is your shepherd, your provider, your protector, and your restorer. Whatever you're facing today, take heart. You are not alone. God's love, goodness, and mercy are chasing after you, and His plans for you are good. Trust Him, lean on Him, and let the promises of Psalm 23 be your strength and hope.